Hey everyone, welcome to the Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It's Friday. It is May 23rd. It is 2025. We have a nice little 12-game MLB slate to talk about here on today's podcast. Hope everyone's having a awesome Thursday night over there in the YouTube chat. What's up, Yeezy? A little later podcast than normal. I'm so busy. Like today, just in general, was just so busy. I wanted to do a podcast last night, but man, this week has just been end of the school year busy. And if you have kids, you understand exactly what I say by end of the school year busy. Just seems like you have so much stuff going on to finish out the school year. So wasn't able to get to a podcast last night. Wanted to, come back here, but so Keith says so hard to focus on MLB with all the awesome racing this weekend. It is one of the best racing weekends of the year. Always excited about the Indy 500, Monaco, and of course the Coke 600. Awesome racing all weekend. Yes, I agree, 100%. So truck race Friday night. Still have my premium content over there on RotoGrinders, rotogrinders.com/racing. And if you are interested in that, hit them up. Helps me. It does. Let's talk some baseball, though. We got 12 games, a lot to talk about. Looking at pitching on the slate is always interesting when you're like, all right, well, you got Wheeler. He's in Sacramento at Athletics. So that's a tougher ballpark, but he's been awesome this year, and we'll talk about him. Nick Pivetta going into Atlanta, so that's a tougher spot. Pablo Lopez has been okay this year. He gets, a Kansas City team that doesn't strike out a ton, and then you have a guy like Tyler Mahle who kind of priced up, for the matchup here against the White Sox. And, obviously you got Chris Sale, Zach Gallen. We'll talk about Noah Cameron when we get there. So a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss here. Let's jump in and have some fun. 12 games. This is a big one. We start with Toronto at Tampa. This game is currently at a 9 total. Yeah, 9 total in this one. We got Eric Lauer and Drew Rasmussen. Tampa Bay is a 155 favorite coming into Tampa. So coming into Tampa in this minor league ballpark. But getting started here, always start with the visiting team. Eric Lauer up first. Lauer really not stretched out. Hasn't pitched too deep yet. We saw him throw 40 pitches last time out. I wouldn't be shocked if they kind of use a bullpen type of game here. Toronto does today. So I like left-handed pitchers against this team. And, it's something I talk about all the time. I like left-handed pitchers against Tampa in general. But I don't think this is the right left-handed pitcher to play against them. His strikeout stuff has been really solid this year. It's just more of pitch count, and I don't expect him to go 70 plus pitches here. So that's my biggest concern. I definitely could see him getting some strikeouts in this matchup against Tampa Bay. But I worry pitch count more than anything else, and how deep he'll go into the game is always my biggest concern with a guy like this, who they really haven't shown us they are going to stretch him out, and we might see an opener in front of him, and maybe the opener goes 1 or 2 innings and he could try to go 3 or 4 innings, and I feel like they're going to use a lot of bullpen here. Drew Rasmussen on the other side of this game, slightly below average strikeout pitcher, throws a lot of strikes, doesn't walk hitters typically. He's been awesome against right-handed hitters this season, 59% ground balls, doesn't give up a lot of fly balls. So you definitely like him against right-handed heavy teams, which he kind of gets here. Toronto, if you look at 3 of their top 5 bats in this lineup, Bichette is righty, Vlad is righty, George Springer is righty. So we saw some weird stuff the other night at Santander. It was like a hip injury. He left the game early on Wednesday and then did not play on Thursday. So don't know if he'll be back in the lineup or not for Toronto. So depending on the lineup, if you get a very right-handed heavy lineup, I think you could potentially take some shots on Rasmussen on DraftKings as like an SP2. I could see him getting, 18 to 22 points here if you get a really right-handed heavy lineup. So I don't necessarily hate this spot for him. It's just going to be more of kind of adjusting to what the lineup looks like once the lineup comes out for him. You want like right-handed heavy teams for Rasmussen. I mean, that's where he's gonna excel the most, is getting right-handed heavy offenses. As far as the bats in this game, I mean, on the Toronto side of things, like Rasmussen, even if we look at last year when he was working on the bullpen, he did a great job of limiting power to right-handed hitters. So when I'm looking at the Toronto bats, like lefty power, Varsho would be my favorite, and I don't think I would get to a full stack here. I mean, I like Varsho at 4,700. I could see myself potentially taking some shots on guys like Nathan Lukes, who's been really solid so far, Barger. So some cheap bats at the bottom here. So maybe like a 3 or 4 man, adding in like a Vlad or a Bichette. But overall, like Toronto is such a tilting offense, but some of these cheap lefties plus a guy like Varsho makes some sense on this slate. On the Tampa side, you're gonna get like enough bullpen where it's like you can't just play some of these platoon guys because one, they love to pinch hit for these guys, and two, like the lefties in this lineup, like Josh Lowe, Brandon Lau, Jonathan Arnanda, like they have really struggled with left-handed pitching. So I don't know. I'm kind of out on Tampa outside of just saying I'm going to full stack them. Diaz would be my favorite bat here. Caballero has been really solid against left-handed pitching, but I mean, we've picked on this team a lot this year because of how much they struggle with left-handed hitters or pitchers. Yeah, they probably struggle with left-handed hitters too. So, Baltimore, Boston, 9.5 total in this game. Boston a 130 favorite. Second end of a double header. So we'll see. Right now, there's no notes or anything about this game coming off the slate. So I'm just going to assume that this is a game that is good to go. Charlie Morton, Lucas Giolito, Boston a 130 favorite in this one. We'll start here with Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton, the days of Charlie Morton being serviceable are just over. His walk rate is almost as high as his walk or strikeout rate. His ISO is through the roof against lefties. You just can't get left-handed hitters out anymore. And that's going to be an issue against this Red Sox team with Jalen, Jarren Duran, like Rafi. I mean, you're going to have like guys like Abreu. So I think there's enough lefties for me to be out on Morton, especially with the fact that like they're facing a right-handed pitcher early in the day, so they could definitely platoon in this spot. So I do not want to play Charlie Morton in this game. Lucas Giolito on the other side, still coming back, battling back from injuries. We really haven't seen like terrible starts from him. We've seen one really, really strong start. He pitched really well against Kansas City, but he's kind of been hit or miss. He's really cheap. Baltimore, they strike out, but they have so much power, especially against right-handed pitching. So I don't think I would do it in like a smaller field contest, but like large field tournaments at 6,500, this guy's capable of 25 plus points. He's capable of 4, 5, 6 strikeouts in any matchup. So just don't think he's fully ready and back. That matters a little to me. So I probably don't end up getting to him, but I could definitely see why you would take some shots on him at this price when considering the upside. As far as the bats, Jackson Holiday has kind of been a staple for me here recently. I've been playing a lot of Baltimore. He's hitting, he's getting on base. He has upside at the top half of this lineup. They keep hitting him leadoff. The whole Baltimore team just continues to be really cheap. So I definitely in large field tournaments could see stacking Baltimore if Giolito is having one of those types of games where he's struggling. So I want to have some exposure to the Baltimore side of this game. Holiday, Rutschman, Henderson, O'Hearn, Mullins, even maybe some shots on Mountcastle, but I definitely prefer lefties against Giolito. As far as the Boston bats, love the Red Sox left-handed hitters in the spot. Duran, Devers, even Bregman, righty. Charlie Morton is not like blowing the ball by anybody anymore. Really bad against lefties. A lot of fly balls, but it's still some of these right-handed bats are definitely going to be serviceable. So assuming like Abreu's in there, I like Abreu a lot. But yeah, I really like this game for offense. We'll check the weather. I know they had a lot of weather up there on Thursday, so we'll check the weather and see. But if this game's a go, we're gonna play some bats in this game for sure. Cleveland at Detroit, 8.5 total in this game. Detroit a 130 favorite. We got Slade Ciccone going up against Jackson Joby. Joby. I don't know. I want to say Joby just because I think it's cool. Joby sounds cool too, but Joby just sounds cooler. All right, let's talk Ciccone here. First, came back from the injured list. We saw him last year. Kind of a mix of like bullpen / starter. Pitched okay against Cincinnati his first time out. He racked up the strikeouts in this game. Listen, I'll tell you now that this dude's not going to end the season with a 40% K rate. He's not a big strikeout guy, so don't get like too excited about that outlier. It was an outlier. Let's just call it how it is. I mean, we saw him in 2023, right? I think he started in 2023. He pitched with Arizona, so if you're thrown off. But this is a guy like 2023, 2024 through 104 innings, kind of in the 18.5% strikeout rate in those 2 years. His swinging strike rate was around 8.4% if we're averaging out those 2 years. Struggled with home runs, really just kind of struggled in general. So while he had an awesome game, his first time out, I don't see it. I know pitchers can change and stuff, and I just I'm not doing it. If you want to do it, sure. I don't even necessarily love the matchup. I think Detroit's a little bit better than people give them credit for. And kind of looking here, his velocity is up a tick, but I mean, he had a 55% swinging strike or whiff rate on his slider in that game against Cincinnati. Last season in total, he was at 19.7%. And looking at some of the spin rates and stuff, it's very similar movement to last year. So, yeah, I think that we're going to see some regression here on Ciccone. I'm out. Not playing him today. Other side of this one, Joby. Young pitcher, we're still kind of seeing whether or not like he's going to pan out or not. I mean, he obviously is someone that has a little bit of upside. Talked a little bit about him this year already. We haven't seen him a ton, but he's pitched really solid the last 2 times out. Just continues to struggle with command. And I don't think Cleveland's the team you necessarily want to struggle with command because they will walk. They will run your pitch count up. They don't have a ton of power in this lineup, but like they do enough that they can make this outing really long for him, or really short is what I meant. I said it backwards. It can make this outing really short for him. So this is like one of those spots that I'll probably be going to look at some like unders on like pitching outs, because I think that they could rack up the walks here and really get him out of this game fast. Don't necessarily hate the matchup for him. I could definitely see him pitching okay here at 7,400. So, like, if you want to take shots, you could. It's just, you look at some of the advanced numbers and you're like, yeah, he has a little bit of strikeout upside, especially against lefties. Like, he's a little reverse splitsy in his numbers, but then you look at like the walk rate and you're like, gosh, I don't know. The walk rate is concerning. I mean, if we look at his last 4 games, he's walked over 4 hitters in 2 of those 4 games. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass. There's some pitching that I like on this slate for sure. We haven't got to a lot of them, but there's pitching that I like on this slate. As far as the bats here for Cleveland, Jose Ramirez, Manzardo, Sheeman. This dude, like, I don't know what has gotten into Sheeman, but he's hitting with power here recently. So I know it was more middle of the season so far, but like, he has a 262 ISO, 370 WOBA against right-handed pitching this season. So Manzardo, Sheeman, Bo Naylor. I prefer left-handed power here against Joby. I mean, same suspects here for Detroit. I feel like every slate. I have a lot of interest in Kerry Carpenter. I have a lot of interest in Riley Green. These two guys just against right-handed pitching have so much upside. I'm really excited that like Parker Meadows is getting close too. These 3 lefties I overplay these 3 lefties. And it works out too. I mean, like, Kerry Carpenter is having a really strong season, and we don't see it because we're like not really paying attention a ton to like Detroit. But like, Kerry Carpenter is having a good year. I mean, I think Riley Green's over 10 home runs too. So those would be my main 2 targets. I don't hate maybe throwing in a little Colt Keith or McKinstry. I like the lefties. Mainly my 2 lefties that I talk about. I feel like every slate they come up on. All right, we're going to Citi Field. We got Dodgers, Mets, 8.5 total pick'em game. Clayton Kershaw going up against Griffin Canning here. Good old Clayton Kershaw still out there throwing baseballs. Always fun. We saw him. He came back against the Angels last time out. Really struggled. Just struggled to like miss bats, I think is the best way to put it. Like, his whiff rate was okay. He got a little unlucky, but like, he really just struggled. We don't typically see like Clayton Kershaw walk as many hitters or walk more hitters than he strikes out, first of all. And they were hitting him hard. Like, it wasn't like soft contact. They were hitting him hard. It's a 1-game sample size, but his hard hit rate was through the roof in that one. So I think at this price against this offense, I feel okay with like taking the wait and see approach. Who knows? He might be back and we might see like good Clayton Kershaw, and I definitely prefer left-handed pitching against this team, but they still don't strike out a ton. They don't have as much power, but they don't strike out a ton. So I don't think I get to Clayton Kershaw today. I think he's going to have to prove it to me that like he's there and he's back. Griffin Canning, I mean, this guy has changed a little bit of his pitch mix, and he's changed what he's doing, and it's working. But I feel like now we're starting to see him get hit a little bit harder. So if you look at his season numbers, they're solid. One thing that kind of keeps trending in the wrong way is like his left-handed power that he's struggling with, like left-handed power in general. So you look at this matchup against the Dodgers and you're like, oh, you don't want to struggle with left-handed power with Ohtani and Freeman and Max Muncy finally hitting the baseball. So I think I'm out on Griffin Canning. The Dodgers bats, I mean, it is Citi Field, and I think Canning's done a solid job this year. But I don't hate the idea of stacking the Dodgers on any slate. I mean, Edman's still mid-range. Muncie's still cheap. I assume Kim will be in the lineup today at 3,400. I don't necessarily love batting him ninth, but I will take some shots on him. I wish we were getting more at bats for Dalton rushing. I really think that they should try to get him more at bats somehow. But if he's in there, I think you could take some shots on him. But I definitely prefer the lefties, but that doesn't mean that I won't take shots on like Teoscar, Paez, Mookie Betts. If I'm going to pay up for Mookie Betts, I'm probably going to get to Freeman or Ohtani first. So, but I mean, a lot of people are going to do the same thing. As far as the Mets go, yeah, I mean, I like Alonso. I like Vientos. I like Torrens if he's catching. Torrens been really good against left-handed pitching this season, and he's typically pretty cheap. Yeah, he's 2,900, and he's shown power. He just struggles with strikeouts, but again, I don't think Clayton Kershaw is going to go out there and blow the ball by anybody. So I don't mind like probably more one-offs instead of fully stacking, but power righties is what I'm looking for on the Mets. Pete Alonso, I think, is an excellent tournament play today. San Diego. It's like I swear I turned my fan on already, but it wasn't on, and I was like starting to get hot. I hate when I do that. San Diego at Atlanta, 7.5 total in this game. Atlanta a 142 favorite. Should be a really solid pitching matchup. Nick Pivetta and Chris Sale facing off against each other, and I mean, you look at these are two huge names that both have a ton of upside. So let's talk about Nick Pivetta here first. Say it all the time. You have to be able to attack this Braves lineup. Their strikeout rate has definitely dropped since the beginning of the season. They haven't been striking out as much. But if you can attack this team, I mean, you have some upside. We know Nick Pivetta is an excellent strikeout pitcher. The problem with Nick Pivetta is we're getting into, the end of May. We're getting into a hotter time of the year in Atlanta, and the ball is going to start flying off the bat in Atlanta. And Nick Pivetta struggles with home runs, and he struggles with fly balls. 28% Ks, 32% ground balls. You need that number to be higher. Really struggles with home runs, and he has been. I've said this so many times over the last few years, especially when he was pitching with Boston. He probably gives up a home run or two. Are they solo shots? Can he still strike out 7 or 8 hitters? I mean, that's kind of what you're hoping here. Like, you're hoping that if he does give up some home runs, they're like solo shots, and if and he can rack up 7, 8 strikeouts here. It's just he has upside because of his strikeout ability. It's just more of like, can he keep the ball in the ballpark if the hitting conditions are great, which they likely will be really good, especially this time of year. Other side of this one, Chris Sale. I mean, this guy, like we were like at the beginning of the season when he had a couple of those outings, we're like, all right. And he has just been Chris Sale lately. He has at least 8 strikeouts in 4 straight games. So just feel like he continues to be underpriced. I definitely like left-handed pitchers against this team more than right-handed pitchers because they're not going to be able to get all these lefties out of there. They'll typically leave Merrill, Arise, and sometimes like even Cronenworth will play lefty-lefty. And like Chris Sale, he struggled a little bit with lefties, but I mean, if we look at a larger sample size, his whiff rate and swinging strike rate is through the roof against left-handed hitters. So I like Sale a lot in this spot. I really like the price point on him more than anything else. Like, I think he has the upside of like a 10-5, 11K type pitcher and continues to just be underpriced here because he had a slow start to the year. So the algorithm hasn't necessarily caught up. And I mean, they've let him go 98 pitches or more in 7 straight games. So love the upside here for Chris Sale against the San Diego team. As far as the San Diego bats, I mean, Machado always very playable against left-handed pitching. But overall, when you're considering pricing and everything, I'm out on San Diego in this spot. As far as Atlanta, I like to target Nick Pivetta for home runs. I definitely like to target like guys that maybe hit the ball on the ground a lot more than they hit the ball up in the air. And when looking at that, this just seems like a really good spot for Matt Olson. He has home runs in 4 of his last 5 games. He's more of a ground ball guy. He should benefit from this fly ball pitcher, ground ball hitter, generates more line drives. Say it on the podcast all the time, but just in case you're new, welcome. Hit subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate you. But if you're new, you definitely want to target ground ball hitters or fly ball hitters against ground ball pitchers and vice versa. So I like Matt Olson's upside here. Outside of him, like I like putting Drake Baldwin when he catches. Like he's shown a lot of upside against right-handed pitching, but I assume that Murphy will catch here. And not saying that necessarily like Murphy is a bad hitter. He just strikes out a lot more than Baldwin does. Baldwin has like a 245 ISO and a 12.5% strikeout rate against right-handed pitching this year. So I like that a little bit more. But yeah, Olson, Ozuna, Verdugo, they benefit from this pitcher here. So if you want to chase a home run with Atlanta, I wouldn't be afraid to do it. But I like both pitchers for what it's worth. I just prefer Sale over Pivetta. All right. Texas at Chicago, taking on the White Sox. 8 total in this game. Tyler Mahle going up against Sean Burke in this one. Like Mahle, I don't think Mahle has been a bad pitcher by any means this year. He's done a fantastic job of limiting power and getting out of innings, and it's worked really well for him. My problem with Tyler Mahle is he is a below average strikeout pitcher. He's at like 18.7% on the season. His ISO numbers are incredibly good. His WOBA isn't really good. He's still giving up a little bit more barrels and hard contact to righties than you probably want, and some of his lefty numbers definitely say that there's some regression coming. I don't necessarily hate the spot because, I mean, I love the spot. The White Sox lineup is atrociously bad. It's gotten worse. Like, it's just worse now. So it's just a tough price tag to pay for him. The price tag on him just seems high. So I don't know. Looking at it, single entry, large field, sure. I think you could play him. Like, you could make an argument for just like taking Mahle and Chris Sale and like getting a nice floor ceiling combo. The White Sox lineup is really bad. So I assume Mahle goes out and pitches a good game. If we're not factoring in price at all, like he would be a top pitcher for me on this slate. Just because I think that he goes out and limits the damage, goes 6 or 7 innings here, and just pitches really well. And the White Sox lineup like adds some strikeout upside. So the other side of this game, Mr. Sean Burke. This is an easy pass for me. This guy just all over the place with his command. Like 16 walks total in his last 4 starts. He's just really, really struggled. And Texas is good enough to beat this guy in this matchup. So yeah, no interest whatsoever for me. I do like Texas. I like Texas a lot in this spot. Looking at pricing here for the first time, like give me Langford, Garcia, Jong, Berger. Ever since Jake Berger got called back up, he's just been crushing the baseball. So that's always good because he's a cheap first baseman with some upside. Haggerty, they've been using him at leadoff every once in a while, him and like Langford. So, yeah, I mean, just overall, really like this spot. I want to pick on Burke it's a pitcher that struggles with command. These are the types of teams I love to stack pitchers against, and I could see this being a really, really good spot for this team. And I mean, the White Sox bullpen bottom 10 in a lot of statistics this year. So if they get to Burke early, you're getting a bad bullpen too. So yeah. The White Sox bats. I mean, nothing really. I will say, like, and I know I say this a lot, but like Vargas has been really solid this year. Hits up towards the top of the lineup. He's had some solid games. He has upside. Probably don't get to him. He's the only hitter in this lineup with an ISO over 200. It's just such a bad lineup. It's such a bad lineup. All right, we got Seattle at Houston. Emerson Hancock against Ryan Gusto, 8.5 total in this one. We'll go Hancock here first. Love, right-handed pitchers that can pitch well against righties. Well, this is not that guy. I mean, Hancock, like, his strikeout rate against right-handed hitters this year is 13.2%. Looking at the swing and strike rate, looking at the whiff rate, there's some positive regression coming to that number. But I need to see it first for me to like get excited about playing him. I don't think I could do it. I understand why you would potentially do it with all these righties in the lineup, but I think I'm going to pass on Hancock today. Dude is really bad against lefties, and we just don't have any lefties to take advantage of it here, which kind of stinks. Ryan Gusto on the other side. I feel like I say this every time, but if like Ryan Gusto pitched against his own team, he'd probably dominate them every single time. He is really good against righties and struggles with lefties. The problem for him in this matchup, JP Crawford, Polanco, Cal Riley, Rowdy Tellez, Tavares, Mastroboni, like they have too many lefties for this guy to excel in this matchup. 20% Ks, 12.5% strikeouts, 250 ISO, 400 WOBA, does not get the ball on the ground, gives up a ton of hard contact, gives up a ton of barrels. Terrible spot for a guy that's going to struggle with lefties. Seattle lineup is really, really solid. So with that said, I like some Seattle bats here. I think they're a team that could potentially go overlooked and under-owned on this slate, which I love finding these types of offenses. And like if Julio Rodriguez doesn't end up playing because he got scratched on Thursday with some back tightness, like now we're just getting better lineup spots for guys like Rowdy Tellez and like the guys I want to play anyway. So Tavares, cheap bat with some speed upside, but Tellez, Polanco, Cal Riley, those are the three that I would build around here. You got to pay up for Polanco and Riley, but we still are getting Rowdy at 3,100, so it makes the three-man kind of average out to a really strong price point. So like that three-man for Seattle today. The Houston bats, like I want to pick on Hancock, but who do we do it with? Like Paredes has been a staple for me this week. I don't know why. I've played him a lot this week, just in general. It's really worked out. Pena, righty is another guy that I think has plenty of upside. Altuve had a huge game on Thursday night, if I remember correctly. I think he hit 1 or 2 home runs. I remember seeing tweets about it. So they don't have any lefties to really take advantage of the weakness. If you're playing the righties here, you want more fly ball guys. So like it's just Paredes probably for me. I think that's my favorite play. But I could see like this, like Altuve is so cheap, Pena is so cheap, Paredes is so cheap. Houston in general is just really cheap here. So I could see myself like potentially leaving them in my player pool as like a mini stack because they are so cheap and they have good roster fill spots for the guys you want to play. Like Altuve second base, Pena shortstop, Paredes third base. Jake Myers, he doesn't have a ton of power, but he does a really good job of getting on base, and he has stolen base upside. So You could play him in the outfield. It's just they're really cheap. So yeah, I mean, I could see myself even taking shots on like Victor Caratini because of how much Hancock struggles with lefties. I just don't know if I'd full stack them. I think they'd be more of a mini stack type of situation for me today. All right, we got Kansas City at Minnesota. This game is currently 7.5. Minnesota 162 favorite. Noah Cameron, Pablo Lopez. I don't think I've gotten a chance to talk about Noah Cameron on the podcast this year. I obviously I know who he is. I do like to follow pitching prospects, and this guy, I think he's second. He came into the season second in the organization for the Royals. For pitching, they have that dude. I like his name. It's like Kurna, or I think is his name or something. I can't remember exactly, but I remember that he's like the second prospect. But Noah Cameron, like, this dude has excellent command. He has an above average strikeout pitch with his changeup. It was a fluke against Tampa in his first start of the year before he got sent back down when Lugo got hurt. But he walked 5 hitters against Tampa, and I feel like that could have just potentially been like first outing nerves. Dude's not going to walk that many hitters. Here's the thing, like Minnesota this year, I've talked about this a lot this year. Minnesota, like, they're very middle of the road in a lot of statistics against right-handed pitching. They've been really solid recently and down the stretch, but like they do not have as much upside against left-handed pitching. If you look at this lineup, depending on like who's back here, because I know. Oh, they're saying Buxton is further behind in his recovery than Correa, as both players recover from the concussion. So maybe Buxton doesn't get activated, but I know that they talked about Correa getting activated here. Buxton being on a lineup is huge. It's a huge bump for Cameron. Buxton has a 350 ISO, 450 WOBA against lefties this year. Correa is at 348 and 495. Correa has been awesome against lefties this season. So I don't know. I probably take some shots. I believe in the talent. I believe that command matters a lot. And again, I think that first outing for him is more of a fluke. I don't think we see 5 walks from him again this year. So I'm going to take some shots on Noah Cameron. I think he's very talented. A lot of the stuff I've read about his command and changeup kind of just really sounds good. Pablo Lopez. Other side, we've seen Pablo Lopez is very capable of putting up big games. His strikeout rate's 27.7% this year. Walk rate around 5.1%. Kansas City, they don't have a ton of power. They don't walk a lot. They don't strike out a lot. They put the ball in play a ton. They're a really tough team to have like huge upside games against because they put the ball in play so much. So you get your upside from them from like striking out 4, 5, 6 hitters and like not giving up runs and getting deeper into games. Lopez is fine. Just in general, like I'm gonna look really quick. Might make a live bet. Might throw my first Friday bet up there here. It's telling me my Face ID on the Hard Rock app is not working. Hold on. I like this under. I want to see what the number is, but I like the under in the first 5 innings of this game. I think this is going to be a low scoring start of game. First 5 innings, first 5 inning total runs. I'm going to take under 4.5 in this one. I think this is going to be a low scoring game. So I'm going to take under 4.5 in the first 5 innings, minus 140. I like that one. As far as the Kansas City bats, I mean, when Pablo Lopez typically struggles, he gives up a little bit more fly balls to righties. You target a little bit like right-handed power against him, so like Witt, maybe Garcia or Pasquantino, but I'm not in love with the bats in this game. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game overall. And even on the Minnesota side, like you could play Carlos Correa. He should get activated. He's 3.4K, and he has been awesome against left-handed pitching this season. So if you want to take some shots on Correa, no one will tell you not to do that at his price point. Cheap shortstop with some power upside here. Arizona at St. Louis taking on the Cardinals. 8.5 total in this game. Arizona a 130 favorite. Zach Gallen, Miles Mikolas. This matchup does not bode well for Miles Mikolas. We'll talk about it in just a second. But let's talk about Zach Gallen here. First, I feel like Zach Gallen has been so inconsistent this year, kind of all over the place. Really good against righties, strikeout rate 28%. We saw this last year when Zach Gallen gets like right-handed heavy offenses. He can pitch really well against them. Problem for him in this match is they can get the Cardinals can get very left-handed heavy against him. They can play Nootbaar, Donovan, Burleson, Gorman, Victor Scott. I'm probably missing one or two lefties there, but I feel like they can throw 6 lefties at Zach Gallen at 8,800, and I would want to get like 8 righties at 8,800 for Zach Gallen today. I might not stack against him in this spot, but I don't know. I don't necessarily love it. I hate the inconsistency from him, and 10 earned runs in his last 2 starts. He just got absolutely hammered by the Rockies, which is such a weird thing to do this year. So yeah, I mean, I would have needed to see like 6+ righties for me to get excited about playing Zach Gallen. His strikeout rate dips way too low, below average strikeout rate against lefties. Miles Mikolas, this guy he keeps doing his thing. No, he doesn't really tend to walk hitters, tries to go out and generate ground balls and get out of games with 5 or 6 clean innings. I mean, that's just kind of what Miles Mikolas has become. Really struggles with left-handed power. Arizona is one of the best teams in baseball against right-handed pitching this season. They've dropped down a little bit, but they're still top 5 in so many statistics this year against righties. Like, God, you love lefties against this team, but I mean, they're 3rd in WRC plus. They're 1st in WOBA. They're 1st in ISO. Those are the stats that we really like. They have stolen base upside. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to play Miles Mikolas here. I don't even remotely want to think about playing Miles Mikolas. I have some interest in the Diamondbacks here. Again, we're getting into late May, early June. Like, this is the time where it starts to get hotter, and like we get these, like, St. Louis is a great ballpark when it's hot. The ball flies in this ballpark too. So I like Arizona against the righty here. Corbin Carroll, Marte, Josh Naylor. I will say, like, Suarez has definitely slowed down, but man, this guy, like, even if we look at like recently, his ISO is just through the roof against right-handed pitching this year. Like Suarez, like 14 home runs this year. Like, it's just wild. Like, yeah, we don't expect that. So I like the Arizona stack. They're definitely going to be on my in my player pool today. I love stacking against Miles Mikolas. I know it doesn't always work, and it hasn't worked a lot this year, but man, when it does work, it's usually gorgeous and beautiful. And one of my one of my like biggest days of the year this year, I think, was like Boston against Mikolas. I think that's who it was. I'm pretty sure it was Boston. Cardinals. Like, I wouldn't sit here and like talk you off of playing like Nootbaar, Donovan, Gorman. Gorman's power has been down a little bit. But I like Lars Nootbaar has been so solid against right-handed pitching this season. If you wanted to take some shots on him here against Zach Gallen, who struggles with lefty power, I don't hate it. I like Donovan a lot. Like, his strikeout rate's really low. He has really good numbers against right-handed pitching. So those would be my two favorites. I don't think I'd stack St. Louis. But I'd leave the Cardinals in like some of these lefties in my player pool, and like if they get built into some lineups, I would be perfectly okay with that. Oh, New York heading to Colorado in course. It's an interesting spot for the Yankees. They played a day game against the Rangers. They flew into Coors. You know, can they get adjusted with the altitude? I mean, listen, I am not saying don't play the Yankees. I'm just saying it's an interesting thought process of that. Drop my pen. 12.5 total. Yankees a 310 favorite. They have the highest implied team total by far on the slate. It's Clark Schmidt against Tanner Gordon. So Tanner Gordon, we've seen a little bit of him so far. I think one start, and we saw minor league numbers haven't been great. Not a prospect, older pitcher, kind of floated around, really struggled against Detroit. He is going to get absolutely hammered by the Yankees in this spot. Don't play him. Oh, I forgot about Clark Schmidt. I mean, that's again, like, Clark Schmidt is a below average strikeout pitcher, really struggles with left-handed power. Probably really going to struggle in this ballpark. I've done crazier things. If this game was in Yankee Stadium, I'd probably take some shots on Clark Schmidt today. But his command is always my biggest concern. Pitching with altitude is so much different than pitching with normal altitude. So, yeah, I'm probably going to pass on Clark Schmidt. Yankees bats, love them. I mean, they're the top stack on the slate if you can make it work. They should crush this guy. I mean, it should be a really rough day for Tanner Gordon. The Rockies have one of the worst bullpens in baseball. Very hittable bullpen, especially if you get to the bad end of the bullpen. So the Yankees should crush in this spot. They're priced up, but I mean, you could definitely make it work if you get some of these cheap bats in there. I like them a lot. I'm gonna try to play them and stack them. And they just sometimes we get to Coors and we're just like, all right, I don't want to be overweight on this spot in Coors, but like, this is just a spot you get to Coors and you're like, man, they should absolutely crush this spot. As far as like the Rockies bats go, I mean, Beck has been awesome. McMahon always has power upside against left-handed or right-handed pitching. Goodman, Tovar, Moniak, like those are the bats that I would kind of focus on here for the Rockies. Like, Tovar is still cheap. McMahon is probably way too cheap. Moniak is cheap. Like, yeah, I mean, you're getting a lot of cheap Rockies bats here against a pitcher that below average strikeouts. So with command issues. So yeah, don't sleep on the Rockies today. Miami at LA taking on the Angels, 8.5 total in this game. We got Sandy Alcantara against Yusei Kikuchi. I mean, I looked at this and I was like, all right, maybe this is the spot that like Alcantara can do something and get going. And then like you keep looking at the advanced stats and you're just like, man, what is going on with this guy? He has stuff. he just can't control it. He's giving up a ton of hard contact. He's forcing pitches. His walk rate is so high against lefties this year. It's like 17.6%. And it's just not getting better. Like, you want it to get better. He's had some beatable matchups, and it's just not getting better. They're letting him pitch deeper. It's just like, I don't know. This team is so sneaky good against right-handed pitching. They don't have a ton of left-handed power to beat him. He still generates a lot of ground balls against righties. He's really cheap at 7,700 on DK. It's just like, is this the spot he gets right? I don't think so. Like, if there were some stats for Alcantara that like were like pointing to some good regression and where we were like excited about seeing some of this, but like his velocity is the only thing that he has going. If you look at his Baseball Savant page, his xERA bottom 12 percentile, X batting average bottom 20 percentile, exit velocity really bad, bottom 15, chase rate way low, whiff rate way low, K rate low, high walk rate, barrel rate's high, hard hit rate is high. He does generate ground balls, but like everything that you want to see like some positive regression for, it's just not there. His hard hits are through the roof. The dude's just getting hit so hard, and he's trying to throw this like sinker more, and it's just not working. When we saw him in 2023, he would use his sinker a lot, and it would work. And it's just, I don't know, it's not working. The changeup off the fastball and stuff works, but like the sinker is just, it's not working. I don't know. Like, as a former pitcher, I pitched for a long time. When I didn't throw sinkers. Something that I couldn't. I threw my main two pitches were fastball, curveball, and I had a really good changeup off of my fastball. But I also had natural movement with my two-seam fastball. So at this point, like if you're the pitching coach for the Marlins, wouldn't you just say like, "Hey, let's go out and have a start where we're just going to throw fastball, changeup, curveball, mix in a few sliders, and see what happens because the sinker's not working." Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just like a perspective, like his fastball hasn't been great either. So, but I don't know. Yusei Kikuchi in this one, like this guy, he has upside. We know he has upside. He's very inconsistent. Miami against left-handed pitching this year, they don't have a ton of power. A lot of the power that they have in this lineup is with their left-handed bats. So like that, he neutralizes some of the power bats here by being left-handed. Miami's bottom 5 in a lot of statistics this year against left-handed pitching. I think you could take some shots on Kikuchi. I don't think if you're playing him, you watch the game. One of the most tilting pitchers to watch live. I will say I'll probably be watching the truck race, and I'll have like the MLB TV like 4 split screen up on my computer, watching some baseball as I'm watching the truck race for this one. And like, I'm so glad that like this is a Miami game and like it's blacked out for me, because like he is just so tilting to watch, because he'll have an inning where he just looks awesome, and then he'll have an inning where it's just like, what are you doing? But I like the upside for Kikuchi in this matchup. Again, like they're not going to be able to get all these lefties out of there, and he's been really solid against left-handed hitters this year. Is really quick, I forget if Myers on the IL too. That's one of their better right-handed bats in this lineup, so that's a bump to Kikuchi as well. Miami bats like Wagaman, I think would be like a one-off power bat you could take some shots on at 3,300. That's it. I don't like that. This is one of the reasons that I have interest in Kikuchi. They don't have a lot of right-handed power in this lineup or on the bench. So Ramirez has been awesome against right-handed pitching this season. He's been awful against lefties. Could you take some shots on him? He's really cheap, sure. I think I'd play the catcher on the other side of this game, though, because that dude is just smashing baseballs. So Alcantara with his command issues, the Angels with their power upside seems like a spot we want to play a little bit of Angels. Like, I don't know what's gotten into Ohapi, but he's at 14 home runs. He's hit 5 home runs in the last 10 games. Taylor Ward is scorching right now. 6 home runs in his last 10 games. Just hitting everything. Like, just having an incredible, like, run here. He's 3,800. Like, the pricing algorithm on DraftKings just refuses to price Taylor Ward up. So, really like those two guys. I like Moncada a lot in this spot. I like left-handed power against Alcantara, but I think the Angels, I think they're a sneaky stack today. The power, they have so much power. Like, if you look at it, Zach Nato, Taylor Ward, Logan Ohapi, Matthew Lugo, all over 200 ISO. Moncada, all over 200 ISOs against right-handed pitching this year. So I like the home run upside for the Angels in this spot against a pitcher that's struggling with command. All right, finish it out. Philadelphia at Athletics, 9.5 total here. Philly, a 185 favorite. We got Zach Wheeler going up against Jeffrey Springs in this one. Wheeler on the road going into a pitcher's ballpark that you don't want to pitch in. I mean, this is a very hitter-friendly ballpark, but you got to hit the baseball for it to be a hitter's ballpark. And I think they might struggle a little bit with that. Wheeler has been awesome this season with strikeouts, one of the best strikeout pitchers in baseball this year, 32.8% K rate. His stuff is just electric. If you haven't had a chance to watch Zach Wheeler pitch this year, this guy has just he's been awesome. His stuff has been great. His xERA is 2.12. His X batting average is like 188. His K rate is top 7 percentile in baseball. He's just really good. He's just really, really good. And as much as I like the Athletics, as much as I like this ballpark, I think I'm going to play Wheeler, even at 11K. The tough part, about Zach Wheeler is, you're choosing basically, do I want to play Yankees or Wheeler? You can play Wheeler with the bottom half of the Yankees lineup and try to get different, but I think Zach Wheeler is one of the top pitchers on the slate today. Potentially the top pitcher on the slate today. And then the other side, we got this guy, Jeffrey Springs. He is capable of good games, but he's a below average strikeout pitcher, and his command, he gives up a lot of barrels. I just don't think this is the spot I want to play him. He's had 2 really solid outings in a row. He's capable of pitching better, but I don't like this spot. I mean, this team, they have plenty of upside against left-handed pitching. Their lefties hit lefties well with Harper and Schwarber. And Springs, he's really struggled with left-handed power this year. His barrel rate's higher against lefties. His walk rate is way higher. His strikeout rate's lower. So, yeah, I mean, I like the Phillies. Obviously, I think they're a really solid stack today. Narrowing down stacks might be a little bit tougher today. I mean, there's a lot of stacks that I like today. Baltimore, Texas, Seattle, Arizona, New York, Angels, Philadelphia. Other side of this one, I don't think I'm going to play my Athletics today. I really like the Athletics as a whole for the season, but I think I'm going to go with the talent of Wheeler in this one and pass on my Athletics. So they'll probably hit 5 home runs to make me tilt, but I like Zach Wheeler way more than I like the Athletics today. Oh, through it, and it's been fun. All right. Morning grind game. If for some reason you haven't already, make sure you head on over to youtube.com/@morninggrind and subscribe. Let's get that. We're getting close. I wanted to be at 2,000. I can't remember if I said before the end of May or before the end of June. We're getting close. I really want to get there. So appreciate everyone that has already subscribed. Appreciate everyone that has shared the show with friends and family and loved ones and random people walking down the side of the street. Let's keep growing the show. I appreciate you all. But if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. All right, morning grind game under 8K to get 6 or more strikeouts. I did not write this one down. I wrote down a lot of them today. I did not write this one down. I'm still struggling with this one. I don't know who I think actually gets this number today. Man, I don't know if any of these guys get 6 or more strikeouts today. Like, the answer, like, legitly might be Eric Lauer in a limited pitch mix or pitch count. Might be the best option for 6 strikeouts under 8K today. I mean, maybe Alcantara would be, I'm probably Alcantara first, but yeah. I struggle with this one pre-show. I struggle with this one now. My official answer will be Alcantara, but I don't love that answer. Over 8K to score under 15. My bust today, I mean, I think looking at the 8K plus range, Zach Gallen is the one I'm worried about the most, but Clayton Kershaw is just an easy fade for me today. I need to see Clayton Kershaw have a big game before I play him. Over 4K to hit a home run. We have a ton of home run options today. A ton of them. There's so many good home run plays today. Obviously staying out of cores. Gosh, there's so many. Let's go with my boy Homer pick here. Let's go Rafi. Home runs in 3 of his last 5. I know it's a doubleheader, but when he's DHing, you got that DH role. Love this spot for Devers against Charlie Morton. If for some reason Morton pitches the early game and doesn't pitch the late game, and you want another home run pick, I really like Cal Riley to hit a home run today. I just realized that Aaron Judge is 7K. Good job, DK. Great job. Would you pitch to Aaron Judge in cores, or would you just walk him every time? Let me know in the comments. What would you do? Under 4K to get 2 hit, or it's under 4K to score 10 plus DK points. Give me Rowdy Tellez. Stack to score 6 or more runs. I think there's a lot of them that have the potential to do this today. There's a lot of good stacks. I'm going to go Texas Rangers, though, against Sean Burke and that White Sox bullpen. Burke's command is a problem. Yeah, pitch to him. Colorado has won 8 out of 50. Yeah, I hear you. All right, that's going to wrap it up. I gave out a bet as I was going through. For some reason, if you are watching live and did not hear it, it's under 4.5 first inning runs in the Royals-Twins game. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Enjoy Memorial Day holiday on Monday. I will be back Monday night, likely. I don't think I'll do a podcast Sunday with the Coke 600 and all the NASCAR stuff. So I will likely be back on Monday night for Tuesday's slate. Hope everyone has a great weekend, and I will see you then.